Welcome back to Alma, Missouri for the last time. For episode 25, with me, MrSealyp. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here on Alma, potentially for the last time. We're going to be heading off. I'm going to be heading off. Normally I say to pastures new, and I have a plan in my head, and I know where I'm going, and I've already got a scheme in mind. Zilch, nada, nothing. My brain is empty. You might argue that it has been for a long time, but I don't know I don't know where I'm going to go. I've still got the Floor is Lava challenge, which is turning more into just forestry and then potentially pioneering. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't picked a map. Nothing's leapt out of me. Normally, we'll have some new maps out, or one on the horizon, or something coming, or something's just come out, and you're like, right, I want to get on that. I'm so torn. I just don't know. And I know I've said that a few times, but it's getting to a point now I'm concerned because normally I've got somewhere to step off from and to, so I don't know. But I've reached a point. I say I've reached a point, not quite. Like I say, there's this episode. I did say in the last episode I've got a pea harvest to do. I'm going to be taking one of my new harvesters with the old header to do the pea harvest. But you might notice in the background I've been a little bit busy because I got all the harvesters off our cornfield and I've put in a shelter just over here. So our corn headers are just sat there. The harvesters, the two new ones, can slide down in the gap here. We can get them out whenever we need them, either forwards or backwards, probably reversing them out. And I've put this lean-to one out here for putting the header trailer under. Now, it didn't need to be, header trailers can be left out, but I've just put a cover on. It wasn't overly expensive or horrendous or anything like that. But I have got a plan for me because I want to leave it, as I've said before, in the best possible way I can. Leave it better than I found it. Leave it in a position that it is pretty much self-sustaining, or at least for a while, because everything's kind of stocked up. My forestry situation, we're still own the forest. We can still go out. We can still do more. But my lumber is dwindling, so that's going to run out soon. But there's still 28,000 litres in there. That will chug away for a bit longer. I've got plenty of carrots, plenty of sugar beet cut, plenty of potatoes. We've got parsnip in there as well, so that's all still chugging away. We've got loads and loads of food for the cows. We've got loads of food for the sheep. They're going to carry on chugging away. I've got manure for my various different facilities. All my things are going great guns. Something that is going to change is my coffee production. So my coffee bean production. And again, I either misread this or this really does fluctuate over the course of a year. And my alfalfa's growing really well as well, look. But my coffee bean production, this is producing incredibly well. These two greenhouses are like rocket ships. And my coffee roasting facility that is giving me roasted coffee beans, which are going to the coffee shop, because we opened a coffee shop in town. That's all great. In the time I've had these two greenhouses running, and that hasn't been that long on the scale of my pumpkin greenhouses, which turned into tomato greenhouses, which, everything's kind of moved around. There's something like 173,000 litres of raw coffee bean at the coffee roaster ready to go. So that is just going to carry on chugging away now. I might have to put a bit of diesel in it every now and again, but that's going to carry on chugging away, and that's selling to the coffee house. These I'm going to put on storing, because what I suddenly realised, and it's another one of those really weird ones, my coffee beans roasted, 2,804. So whether I sell them using my mobile sell shop or they go to the coffee shop, I take them over there. If I set them on selling directly, that's the price for them. The coffee beans raw, which is the previous state, so you'd think the coffee bean would be worth more once roasted because it goes off to make coffee. Look at the price of coffee bean raw. Did I not check that before? Why have I been going to the hassle of roasting it? Oh, and I suppose I wanted to do the coffee shop, didn't I? So anyway, all that being said, my coffee bean greenhouses now are set to storing, and I'm going to use my mobile sales station, because at that price, I'd be insane not to be selling them as they're producing, because they're producing a lot. So anyway, that's switched over. I have taken on another baling contract, but I don't think I'm going to get onto that. I've got my plough that needs to be fielded. Yep, my plough that needs to be fielded. That needs to be done. My field that needs to be ploughed. And if I go in and check on that, yeah, so as you can see, it needs ploughing. So that's our cornfield. I'm pretty sure corn is one of the ones, there's a couple of crops, aren't there? Is it cotton is the other one? I'm trying to think. Some of them you get 3 harvests between needing ploughing, but I'm sure it's cotton and corn needs to be ploughed after every harvest. So much information, one tiny brain can't cope. So I'll be coming back to get that done later on. And I might get onto that tomorrow. I'm going to get the pea harvest done now. We're not keeping in the peas, we'll sell it all, it's not a problem. I'm going to drive out and up to field 17, which is right at the top of the map. I'm going to go that way out. My McCormick and the trailer are out at the corn dryer. So what I'm doing is waiting until we've got more dry corn. Then that will be distributed between our grain mill and out to the popcorn factory. So I do want to skip ahead until October 2 because I want to see, like I said in the last episode, we've got our popcorn factory running, but what does our popcorn and butter popcorn pallets look like? I'm assuming they're going to be sort of rectangular, square-ish type box with some kind of logo on, but you know, we want that process. And the other thing I'm going to do is, once we get tomorrow's payments for all of our products, I'm going to put in another, you know, my fertilizer productions I've got at the farm. I've got one that's doing manure, one that does slurry. So my slurry is either going into there or it's going to the biogas plant. But I've now got the biogas plant something like 370,000 litres of digestate. Digestate price is $24 for 1,000 litres. Not having that. So what I'm going to do is put in one of those fertilizer productions that takes digestate, so I can make my digestate worth a fortune. So we'll convert the digestate to fertilizer, and that fertilizer, only that fertilizer, the other stuff's going to stay as it is, that fertilizer we can sell. So that's how we'll make that product a bit more profitable. So that I'll get that put in, like I say, after we've done our sales tomorrow, because I'm pretty sure it's 55 grand or something. So I'll set up for field 17. There's our field that needs to be ploughed, and then we'll see how we're looking. Yeah, I mean, so that's what we've been up to. That's where we're at. I'm thinking about, as a parting shot, as a kind of, have I won at Farming Simulator? Have I have I beaten Alma, the boss level? Do I own Alma? Am I the boss of Alma? By buying up as many of the productions as I have, but running what I'm doing, but I don't own all the farms. There's the farm up here. So I guess the argument, like I say, it's one of those weird things, isn't it? It's one man's goals are another man's beginnings. I know it's a kind of a deep thing. It's that same concept of, I've mentioned before, what's his name? Mine's gone blank. He was in the SAS, and he does SAS Who Dares Wins. He's on the programme. And he does a lot of podcasts and stuff. Not Ant Middleton, I forgot his name. Anyway, off the top of my head, it will come to me maybe at some point. And he said about, people asked him about his exercise regime, and he said he's 50-something years old, 55 years old now. He gets up every morning, goes for runs. Sometimes he does wild swimming, and he said it gets harder as you get older, but he said, you know, and they were talking about people trying to get fit, and he said, and you know, again, a conversation we've probably had a few times, I've mentioned, it's just getting off the sofa, isn't it? It's that first step. And he said, whether you go out and you jog 13 miles, do a half marathon, do a full marathon, if you get off of the sofa and you walk to the corner shop and back, or you walk down to the park and back, or round the park and back, what your goal is and what you've achieved that day is not the same as someone else. Someone else's goal to walk to the park and back, they think, well, that's a joke. Why would I have to worry about doing that? I'm going to go and do a marathon. So that's what I'm saying. One man's goals is another man's beginnings. Where you might be ending up, that might be someone's jumping off point, where they're starting from. So the goals I kind of set myself on here, the things I wanted to achieve by the end of the episode, by the end of the series, there might be people out there watching thinking, well, hang on a minute, there's still loads more you could do. And there might well be loads more I could do. I could carry on farming and farming. I don't own all the fields on the map. You know, a lot of people set themselves a target of saying, I want to own every field on the map. And they won't be happy until they've done that, you know. So it depends what your goals are, what you've set for yourself. I said very early on, drive the map on now, that one of my goals was I wanted to do the tomato ketchup factory, I wanted to do the popcorn factory, I wanted to do the pizzeria, I wanted to do the dried corn, I wanted to do the grain mill. All the extra things that Celobuki had put on here, I wanted to have a go at. And I've done all of that. I've achieved that by buying the popcorn factory. We've got to that point. Could I continue? Yes. Would people still want to carry on watching? Some would, some wouldn't. People like the challenge of growth. They like the challenge of building, the sort of start from scratch, the working your way up. I've got to a point now, I've got 3 harvesters, I've got plenty of greenhouses. As I've just been around the yard, all the stuff we've got, it's all running, and it's all running really well. So the thing about it is, we are, like I said, almost self-sustaining. So the challenge of, can I get to a point where I don't have to struggle for money? Can I get to a point where if I just saved up my money for 2 or 3 months, I could buy myself another big piece of machinery, a brand new tractor. I could go much larger. I haven't gone overly ludicrous with my tractors. Could I buy a Xerion? Could I buy a Case quad track? You know, so again, it depends what your targets are and what you set. And I've always found that I've always got in my head what I want to do. I wanted to get more harvesters. I wanted to get to this point where if you've got a big field and I set all 3 harvesters running, it's not going to take an inordinate amount of time to get the harvest done. We're at that point. I bought the beet harvester. I don't often do that, but I did say, what was it on this one or on the map tour on Ravenport? I haven't done a lot of sugarcane recently. I haven't done much poplar. I haven't done any cotton. I can't remember the last time I did cotton. I did a cotton contract on Court Farm and it didn't work very well. The cotton contracts weren't working particularly well. So there's a whole lot of crop types and things and machinery I haven't used for a long time. But it's again, how do I start off? Because going to start from scratch is fine, and it's getting to the point you can afford all of that stuff before you can even get onto doing those contracts. I mean, there's toe behind stuff and all those kind of things. So yeah, it's just mulling over all the things in my head. What do I want to do? How do I want to do it? Where do I want to go? At the moment, I just don't know. But I've got to the point I wanted to here. This pays 23 grand, I think it is. Actually, while we're heading down here, what is probably not a bad idea, let's go down to that page. We'll go to there. Take it to the market stall. Cool. Okay. And like I said, I've taken on that baling contract. I thought it was a silage baling contract originally, but it's not. It's another hay one. Only because I saw the dollar signs again. 45 grand. That's cool. That big field was the one I did recently, and it takes a long time. And if we are at the point where we're going to be heading off, it's probably not a good idea to start another massive baling contract. I've got plenty of hay. I've got plenty of stuff. But what I've done is I've secured that contract. For the next person that comes along and wants to buy the farm, they've got some contracts in hand they can be getting on with better. Or they might want to sell off everything I've done. Whoever comes next, that's entirely up to them. So once this is full, I'll get the trailer up here, we'll get this loaded, and we'll start taking it to the market stall. This is the standard. That was something, yeah, someone left a comment or messaged me directly. I'm being bombarded. Oh, I need to show you something down at the town. There's that, the corn dries and stuff. The Stewart method, I want to talk about that as well because it's very cool. And again, for some people it may seem very obvious, but for me it was one of those kind of revelation moments. You know, just because, yeah, it's one of those things that just never dawned on me, but I'll explain that later on. Yeah, the headers. Someone said I'm just using an Unreal one, and when it's off camera, I'll just cheat around the map. In all honesty, no, this is a Titan Draper header, and that's why it's running at 10 miles an hour, although it's saying 11. This is supposed to run at 10 miles an hour. The Unreal one will run at the speed of the tractor, and the Unreal one has the option for doing the wider, you know, you can go to 25 metre, 50 metre, I think. This one you can't change the width on. If I take this to my little toolbox or to the garage point anywhere, I can't do anything more to this one. This is it. 10 miles an hour, that width, that's what it runs at. So, yeah. So what I'll probably do is once I've been around a couple of times. Because this isn't a straight field as well. In that you look at the side there, it goes off at an angle, so it's not straight. And even going right to the edge here, we come into the field before the end. So what I'll do, get that going. Should have lifted the header really. Why has that just stopped? No field found, it's right there. What are you talking about? That's weird. Fire worker again. There we go, that's better. Because that's going to get full fairly soon. Actually, I'm just thinking, what did I go for on this one? 30,000, wasn't it? Tank capacity. My trailer's only 33, so it's going to be pretty much one load for one load. So I can set a worker off. I can go back and unload. By the time I get back, not that it's going to be completely full, but not far off full. And I'll show you the stuff I was talking about in town. And hopefully once this is all done, we'll get back to the farmyard and I can get on with my ploughing, and we should have some of our coffee bean raw should be there, so we can make a little bit of money on that hopefully. So what I'll do here, what I offered, again, depends how you go about doing this. I kind of set myself in steps so that it will hopefully, I'll reach a point. Whoa, don't know, is it? That's a bit far over. Let's go again from there. And if I overlap just a little bit, it means when it comes back the other way, the header, it won't stop. Because if you just do it to the width of the header, it will come back the other way, reach the bit it's got to, it might turn around and you'll miss a big chunk. So it's always better to overlap just by a little bit. So I'm going to head back to town. I'm going to hop out, get a work going on this. By the time we get up here with the trailer, that's probably going to be full. We might have to manoeuvre it around. This one I need to try and step it, because I don't want it to be in the middle of a row with peas either side, because then I've got to try and get to it to unload it. Okie dokie then. Here's my McCormick. I'm sitting here waiting for dried corn, but what I'm going to do is take this up to pick up stuff. So this one I'm going to show you. This is the Stuart method, and Stuart messaged me, and it's genius. It's one of those things, it's like I said, you think, it's so obvious, why didn't I think of it? But that's what makes it so cool. And if you're doing this already, awesome. If you're not, top tip. And this isn't my top tip, this is Stuart, so thank you, Stuart. Now, every time I've been going to these, and every map I go on when I do map tours, if you've got your icons on, your, you know, the little blue icons on your map, and you can see where everything is, that's fine. But obviously then when you get, you know, better with the map, or you're recording, you don't want to have those up all the time, whatever. Sometimes you've got a door, and I've said this before, you might come to a production and you've got a door, you've got a place, and you can remember exactly where the point is you need to go to. But on these ones, some of them, they're not quite lined up with a door, or they haven't got a door, or you're not quite sure where you need to go to for your production to work. And you find yourself moving around backwards and forwards until you find it. The Floor is Lava one, Forest Challenge map, that's the same. The store icon, I can't ever work out where it is. So Stuart messaged and said, oh, what I do, as long as you own the land, you're fine. If you own the land, just use the landscaping tool, use a different paint texture to put a little different paint texture down, whatever it might be, on that spot. So when I come around the corner now, on this spot here, I've got a little mud texture. So I know if I go to this mud texture here and click that, I'm on the spot. I'm right where I need to be. If I come over to this one over here, because there's a door at the front there, and I thought it would be there. I keep going back to here, but it's not. It's around the side here. So this little mud spot there, come there, click on it, that's where it is. It's genius. It's so simple. And like I say, it's that kind of thing you think, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Why wouldn't you do that? It just never crossed my mind. So there we go. Awesome. Thank you, Stuart. You're a legend. Oh, that's what I was going to say as well. I did say how much, but I can't remember off the top of my head how much it was. Because I did think the price that the coffee bean raw is selling for, and the fact I've been automatically distributing it to here, I wanted to be able to take it out of here, because at the moment I've got 171,000 litres of coffee bean raw in here, which now is just going to carry on. This can just carry on chugging away until it runs out. That's going to take some time. The diesel seems to be lasting a long time, so that's absolutely brilliant. So I'm not going to have any more coming here. It's all going to be storing where we are. So I'm going to take this back now. We're going to head back over, do our first unload. Luckily, we got to the end of the row, and it had just turned around when it filled up, so my pipe is actually facing the right way. Turning it off again. Beacons on, so we're going to head out through the town. Let's go and do our unload. was to say, I haven't turned the traffic off, have I? Nope, I can see traffic. I love the sound of this tractor. I'm going to stay on the main road rather than go onto the field straight away. I could get off the road and just follow the side of the field, but it makes more sense to stay on the road where it's nice and smooth. I do have a car right up behind me. And just sit in my left mirror. It's funny how when you're focusing on doing your harvesting, I didn't really pay attention to how... I know the field's a long field because I've done harvesting contracts already on this series, but when you're driving along you're suddenly thinking, wow, this is a pretty long field. Just the one, but they are catching up. I shall get my indicator on now. There we go, look, perfect. It's just turned right at the end of the field. Indicator off. Lovely job. That unloads seriously fast. That was ridiculously quick. Get this topped off. There we go. Let's go and do our first unload. I'm always curious with the first one to see what percentage of the contract complete is, because that's when you know you've got either, you know, you should have some left over, you might have some left over, or you start to realise just how big a job it is when you do a full unload of, you know, an articulated lorry or a big trailer or, you know, whatever it might be, and it comes at like 3% complete. Sugar beet and potato harvest are like that. When you do that, you think, oh my days, I'm going to have so many unloads to do. Righty-ho. Just thinking of all the things I need to do in the morning. Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We can get off the field here, can't we? Yeah, pretty sure we can. There's not a ditch exactly. There we go, just there, we should be alright. Well then, I'll see if the first unload, and then I'll get the rest of the harvest done. I think I'm... Whoa! Nearly there. Just up on the right. Before I unload, check the contract. Doesn't hurt, does it? Field 17, harvest. You need to deliver the peas to the market stall. We should be golden. If the money starts to go up now, We've done something wrong. Am I on? No, that's about right. I'm just thinking, are we on grain door? No, we're not on grain door. How much delivered? 18%. Okay, so another 5 loads. At 20% it would be 5 loads total, but just under 20% means, yeah, it's going to be 5 more loads. That's alright. Okie dokie then. I've got some unloading to do. I have got something I'm going to try off camera. If it works, I'll show you it. If it doesn't, again, you'll never see it. I'll never talk about it. I don't want to set myself up for you know, it's that thing where, again, sort of thing that people might have tried already, and also when it's a difficult one to kind of, you know, not. People know my memory's terrible. They know, you know, some things I remember really well, history and historical things, you know, history. All sorts of things that stick in my mind, and loads of information, you know, that you can regurgitate. And there'll be things that you'll do in game, and you might do them once and then not do them again for another year or 2 years, or people will message you. I know I might have a flurry, I might have, you know, 400 comments on the last 3 videos. I might have 20 direct messages on YouTube. I might have a load of direct messages on Twitter. I might, you know, so you read a message and go, oh, okay, that's cool. And then you might go 2-3 weeks and not actually do the thing the person's talking about. And then when you come to do something, you think, oh yeah, so-and-so messaged me about that. Then I spend ages trying to find the person's name that messaged me. So sometimes I'll go to do something, the thing I've just thought about. But I can't remember if, one, at some point someone has messaged me about this already, which they might have done. 2, whether it's something I should know. And it's something I'll say, I'm not sure. And people message immediately and go, oh yeah, you know. So it's that thing of, I'll give it a go. Again, I'm being very cryptic. I'll give it a go. If it works, I'll show you and say, look, you know. If it doesn't, then like I say, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work. I can always save the game before I do it. I can try and do it. If it doesn't work, I can always go back to a previous setting. I know that's a bit, you know, in real life, if you were saying, oh, we need a silo for this, you know, and you pay for the silo, you have the foundations put in, the silo gets built, and then you decide a week down the line, actually, that's not the one I wanted. You can't just go back to a previous save, can you? The silo's there. You've either got to have it demolished to sell it, or just accept the fact you paid for it and it's there, you know. The beauty of the game allows you to do some of these things. Anyway, I will see you in a little while. I am on the last load of peas off of field 17. I just... Another one of those moments, isn't it? I was talking about the fact that I've reached that point, goals, and I've got 3 harvesters. Now the reason I came out with 1 harvester, 1 header, was because I've got 3 corn headers, but I've only got 1 regular header. And I said, I probably should buy another regular header. So I'm going up and down that field thinking, well, why don't I just buy another header and have 2 harvesters running on the field? I've got 3 harvesters sat there. So across the road, I mean, they're back now because we're heading back. So I bought the second one of our new harvesters out and I bought another header. So I've got 2 Titan Unreal headers. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't... No, not 2 Titan Unreal headers. 2 Titan headers is what I've got. Yeah, this is Titan Drapers. I've got 2 of those, not Unreal ones. So, last bit of this, we're on 98% contract complete. I didn't even look to see what we're at. But we're selling the whole lot anyway, so whatever is over and above will make a bit of extra money on it. If there's anything. There we go. There's a fair bit actually. Extra 8 grand bonus on top, we'll take that. Contract then is here. Complete 23,774. Collectamundo. So I'm going to take my harvesting stuff back. This is going to go back over to the dried, or to the corn dryer, ready for any more corn. I don't know if I will buy that other farm. We'll see how the finances go. We'll see if we can sell a bit of coffee bean raw. If we can, then maybe I will buy the other farm. It seems a bit sort of, it's that weird kind of, it would just be a tick in the box to say, yeah, I've bought another farm, because I'm not going to use it, so it seems, yeah. a bit odd. So I will either see you tomorrow, once I've sold some bits and bobs, or if the thing I'm going to try out works, I may see you momentarily. I will see. Like I say, I know I'm being cryptic, but yeah, I'll explain later on. If it doesn't work, I might explain anyway. Unfortunately, my plan didn't work. I brought my harvesters back, stacked everything away. I've given my 2 headers a bit of a jet wash down. I am... Oh, the ploughing. That's what I was going to say. If it worked, I'd see you. If I didn't, it'd be the day after. But I forgot I need to start my ploughing. I need to get that done. I mean, I could wait till tomorrow to do that, but it makes sense to get cracking with that now. I'm going to use the ARX for that. But what I am going to do is take advantage of the good prices now in case they suddenly drop. Yeah, so what my plan was, what I was intending to do, and this is kind of relevant to what I'm doing here now. I was sure I'd read somewhere, or someone had sent me a message to say that when I had all that sugar beet or sugar beet cut in that second building here, and the sugar was really slow processing, so I said about putting a new sugar plant in, and I had it all sat in there and I couldn't get it out. Someone messaged me, I'm sure they did, and said if you put a silo right next to it, it will link the two together so you can take out of the silo what's in that building. So I thought, well, I'll do that. If I can do that with the coffee bean, then the 170,000 litres in there, I can take not all of it out, but I can take some of it out and sell it at a good price. I've tried a few different silos. I've tried one of the mods. It was the building your own silo mod by Thalvor that just has you can have the pipe. So I put the pipe on the side of the building, thought that might work. I haven't been able to get it to work. And it could be as well, it might work if you've got the regular crop types, in-game crop types, but because the coffee bean and coffee bean raw are quite different, that possibly some of the silos aren't picking them up, I don't know. Although the silos did show up. It did say coffee bean and coffee bean raw, but 0. Anyway, yeah, I couldn't get it to work. So I thought, you know what? I'll just have to accept the fact that 170,000 litres in there, that's going to chug away and do 170,000 litres, or you know, the recipe for it. But all of my stuff that's coming out of here, at the moment, I will sell directly. There we go. Oh, panic then. Good prices. And I say, these actually go at quite a rate. So I'm going to take advantage. I could have, like I said, I could have sworn when I first put the stuff in that the coffee bean raw was worth less than the coffee bean roasted. But if that's not the case, cha-ching. But I didn't want to skip ahead and think, I'll wait till I've got a whole load here. I'll sell it all in one big go. Then tomorrow the price plummets, because there's nothing worse when prices plummet. I'm having a good couple of days. I don't know what's happening. It's like language escapes me. I don't know what's going on. It's very peculiar. So I'm going to sell a couple of my bits now, just some of the bits I've got. I'm going to hook up my plough. And I'll start my ploughing, and then I'll see you tomorrow. Like I say, do my digestate thing. We'll get that sorted out. Hopefully, have a load more stuff there as well. So prices wise, we'll have plenty of money, and we're leaving everything. Everything's nicely stocked up at the moment, which is really cool. We've got plenty of silage in the silage clamp. We've got everything seems to be topped up really nicely. We've got manure and water in all the greenhouses. Like I say, everything is where it needs to be at the moment, so it's all working. I mean, the other thing, the sort of thing I've been doing on the floor is lava as well, because you can use that the same from this mobile utilities pack that I'm using on the floor is lava. The container one that you can put your wood into, you cut down your trees, you put your wood into it, set that to distributing. So I could take one of those over there, and where I'm doing my forestry, rather than bringing all of my wood over here now, put it into this clamp, which is, that's the more realistic way of doing it. Bring it here, put it in the clamp, then put it into my facility for you know, for our firewood, I could take one of those over there. I could spend an hour chopping down a whole load of trees and just use that container, set that to distributing. That will distribute the wood to here, and then it doesn't matter that if that runs out, because it will still be sending wood over, and that will keep that topped up. That, again, that's another option. If I wanted to carry on and I wanted to keep this ticking over, I can absolutely do that. But you know, we're all good. Let's grab the 8RX, grab the front weight, grab the plough. This should have enough oomph for it. If it hasn't, I'll just go and grab the other one. I was thinking, I know, because I bought that, the ridiculous Dominic one, the John Deere, that has like 850 horsepower in a small package. So I was thinking about maybe going a bit more realistic, selling that, and then maybe getting, I don't know, I did talk about Xerion earlier, getting something bigger with more the realistic horsepower for it. There won't be anything up to 800 horsepower, but that doesn't matter. I was so hoping that coffee bean raw thing had worked. Just thinking 170,000 litres at 5,000 for 1,000 litres. That's just... oh. Yeah, we're pulling all right. I have to say as well, while I'm heading off, while I'm starting my ploughing on here, I say it with every map I do a Let's Play on, because I suppose because I love the game. I've said it so many times. It's my passion. It's what I love doing. It's how I relax. It's, you know, when I'm doing stuff off camera with an audio book or a bit of music, and I like playing the game. I like the vehicles. I like the sounds, all of it. I absolutely love it. So every Let's Play I finish, I say, I've loved this map, and I genuinely do. I've had a lot of fun on this one. It's been really cool doing the contract work, doing all the baling, building the farm up, getting to where we are. Yeah, it's been really good fun. It's a cracking map as well, really nice. And I'm sure the next one, whichever map I end up choosing, if I end up choosing one, I mean, you know, it was suggested, because Ravenport popped up, I should go back to Ravenport. And it's interesting, when I did the Ravenport map tour, and I said, you know, this was the map that came out with FS19. It was the map, you know. Landscaping was new, cotton was new, all these things that were new, and that map brought those new things because that was the first map available. It was you know, there was before any modded maps had come out. Ravenport was the map everyone was kind of playing on. And then when I said on the map tour, when you consider that we're into year 3 of FS22, and that came out the very start of FS19, so that's knocking on 6 years ago. 6 years ago that I did my Ravenport Let's Play. That's absolutely mad. So you stop and think that, and think, yeah, that's wow. That's terrifying. But anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, sorry, got sidetracked. I was just thinking about the 6 years. My brain started ticking over then, thinking all the things that have happened in the last 6 years. So it was just I went back over there and did a sort of a revised, refreshed sort of Let's Play on that. Which, yeah, potentially. I mean, like I say, any of these are an option. Any of the old maps that get ported over that I've done Let's Plays on are a potential. It was suggested because I had all the problems with Frontier, that I should go back onto Frontier. But the problem with that is, like I said, with that, if I carry on from where I was to get to where I was, it would be, no exaggeration, say potentially days of work to get the map ready to do it. So I'm not sure about that. I did like it. It's a brilliant map, don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't know. So I don't know. And also leaving here, what do I take with me? Do I take anything with me? Or just the pickup I arrived in? I do like that sort of, when you kind of, everything's here, everything's good to go. On Drumard, when I did Drumard all that time ago, we had like an auction sale, everything was laid out. I sold everything off and then walked off down the road. And because I did it a lot more then, my intention was when I started a new Let's Play, I would take the money with me to start the new Let's Play. But oddly, I've had that situation where when I've moved Let's Plays, if I left here with, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to make over the next sort of 24 hours, but if I say we've got 700,000, you move on to a new Let's Play and you start with 700,000, there's always that, people are torn between they want to see the build up and they want to see the Let's Play progress. Some people want to see you just get cracking and get some equipment, get some machinery and just start doing some stuff. And to arrive with 700,000, it's far easier to get going, you know? So I don't know. I will see you tomorrow, October 2. This is going to take a bit of time. Even with a big plough like this, it's going to take a little while. So I will see you later on for the final instalments, the final bits, the final things we are going to do. I might even get the train, I don't know. Could load my pickup onto the train. Head off towards Sedalia. I keep saying Sedalia, I assume it is not Sedalia, Sedalia, I don't know. It's 8:13 in the morning, daily sales are done. I took the liberty, actually, in advance of earning today's money, I put the new production in just here, and if we click on this around the back there you go, digestate in, solid fertilizer out. But this is, the ratio's different, the recipe's different. So this is a 4-to-1, so you're losing 3/4 of it technically. But my way of looking at it is, has the biogas plant paid for itself since we bought it? Absolutely, and some. With the amount of methane we've been selling, I mean today's was 44,000, so that's each day, because I'm doing 2-day months, so basically every 2 weeks 44 grand. That paid for itself, no problem at all. The byproduct of digestate has just been sitting there, and there was 300 and, like I say, 80 odd thousand litres, probably a little bit more as we've gone into today. So I placed this, I put 4 of these in, so 80,000 litres. We've got 20,000 litres of fertiliser in there. So what I'm going to spend a bit of time doing now is the rest of the digestate, moving from the tank there into this here. I'm going to let it run, and what I will do is I'll speed up time, and then we'll skip it, and I'll put it on selling, because I don't mind if I lose 20% on the sale price by selling directly. Again, it's a byproduct, it's all in addition to. And I think we can safely say now that when I was saying before about reaching that tipping point, no, not too far, we want that one, this is where you drop off. I want this one back here. Yeah, when you reach that tipping point of making enough money to get by, you know, that initial tipping point, I find, is when you're making enough money that you can hire workers. If you're making enough each day, each month, however days you're running in your month, you can afford to pay for workers, that whatever job you do, whatever contract, you can hire workers in addition to yourself, and it's not eating into your money. That's your first kind of point. When you reach the next tipping point where you can afford to start upping your machinery game, you know, getting a bit more stuff, that's your next one. And then that tipping point where you know that you're comfortably off every month, even after buying all the machinery, and then it goes from being machinery and equipment you need for the farm, so you can do your contracts faster, so you can increase production, you know. And so when you start buying more and more fields, you can expand what you're doing. It goes from the equipment you need, or say the equipment you want, yeah, you need actually, to be fair, to then equipment you want. So when you're then reach the point you're making enough money that you can just have whatever you like, you know. In 14 days, because we went from October 1 to October 2, so the second part of October, we went from, what were we on, 300 and something thousand? It was 300 and something thousand. I have to double check that before we sold all today's stuff. Up to 863,000. Coffee is king, I'm going to say it. Mind you, all of it. Coffee's great, the pizza's doing well, the tomato ketchup, oh, we've got to go over and see the popcorn. Well, I need to make sure I do that. So what I'll do, I'll transfer all this over. I'll let this run so it turns into fertilizer. And then when we skip ahead the next hour on selling, it should sell what's in there. That'll bump up our money again. But we'll whiz over to the popcorn factory, because that was our thing we were going to look at. What does butter popcorn and popcorn look like? That's the last of the things. I haven't sold any of that today. So we'll do that. And then I think we'll be heading off. So what we'll probably do is... I'll drive up there in the pickup and we'll head off from there, I guess. But I'm just curious to see, you know, like I say, we are now at that point. If I'm making 500,000 plus each half of the month, that's $1 million a month. So, you know, and it could be argued, oh, well, it's just ridiculous now. But we worked to get to this point, you know. We started off, we worked, we built up, we did contracts, we've done every step of the way. We've put our factories in, we've harvested things, we've gathered in the produce, the required things we need. There are some. Greenhouses have always been the same. Greenhouse is always that thing of, it's kind of not, well, I mean, technically free money. As long as you can afford to put your first greenhouse in, especially the ones that just require water, when you put your water in, and then you're producing either lettuce or tomato or strawberry, and now with all the ones that are available, with all the various different products you can produce, then selling those on, it's all profit. It is all profit at that point. The ones that require manure and a few other bits and bobs, that then requires you to possibly have animals, or you can buy the stuff in. But I'm really happy with everything. Yeah, it's really cool. Am I taking this money with me when I go? I don't know. I really don't know. How we're looking. Oh, blimey, it's going to take ages. 200,000, yeah. Okay, I'm going to see in a little while. I need to get all this transferred over. This is going to take some time. I mean, like I say, we're just going backwards and forwards here. Just a little shuttle run, but at least another 10, isn't it? Did I turn this back on again? I can't remember. No, I didn't. That's going to help, isn't it, if I actually produce it? It's 3:52 in the afternoon here on Alma. I moved all the stuff over. So, I mean, it's still chugging away. We're nowhere near done. There's 151,000 litres still chugging through. But we've got 69,103 litres in here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch that to selling. The other two that I've got over at the main farm, they're going to be for fertilising contracts for whoever takes over the farm next. I'm going to head back over to the farm. And what we'll do is when we tip over the hour, hopefully at 4 o'clock, it should sell all of that. Obviously, between when I last saw you and now, I positioned my two little sell container, or buying containers, whichever way you look at it. The magic boxes. A few people have been asking me about those on the video. I did say when I first used them, it's the mobile utilities pack by Yoss is what I'm using. My field is all ploughed, that's all done and sorted, so that's good to go for, again, whoever takes over the farm. I might lease the farm out, I might not sell it, I might just have it as an ongoing concern. That'd be an interesting one to do, wouldn't it? Someone took over your farm and it's an ongoing concern. If I moved to another map, to another farm, but was leasing this farm out, and my income was $500,000 or $1 million a month is what we're earning at the moment. On my new Let's Play, I could just sit back, let $1 million a month roll in, chill out. I could be a relaxed farmer. Oh blimey, look, we've got all these. Oh no, look, oh, more money. Oh, what am I going to do with it all? Who's seen that brilliant film with Tom Cruise about the guy, strange enough, no relation, Barry Seals? The guy was worked for the CIA, the Iran-Contra and all that stuff, and then he was playing both ends against the middle, and he was running guns and drugs and all sorts of stuff for Escobar and what's it called? Is it American Made? I think it's American Made. I just had visions of that. He was making so much money, they were bringing it in by the plane load. He had it stuffed behind his walls, he had it buried in bags in the gardens, he bought up all the banks in the local town, he had it was just ludicrous the amount of money he was making. And I was just thinking out then, it's like, oh no, what am I going to do with all this money I'm making with my coffee? I reckon we'll crack $1 million before we leave. Because yeah, there would. I'm not going to keep going about it. Yeah, I like the challenge as much as anyone else does. And whilst I still had tasks and things I wanted to achieve, I'm just going to keep on going. But a lot of people lose interest much earlier. But when you reach that point where it just becomes a job of being a logistician. You are literally, working out how you're going to get rid of all the stuff you're producing. There you go. We're over a mil. So it's 3:57. I'm going to grab the pickup. Look at all the stuff we've got, all the equipment, all the gear, all the things we've done. It's absolutely brilliant. And it is weird. I say every single time, it's weird that you come on and you record and you play and you spend hours and hours and hours, hundreds of hours, going backwards and forwards and doing the things you're doing. And then when you do a final episode and you're getting ready to sort of go, and you think to yourself, because people do ask me, do you come back? Do you play on a map again? Sometimes not. It's it all depends. Sometimes you come back and you'll play again on a map. Not always. And the weird thing is, as well, people say, do you delete your save? After a while, I normally keep them for a little while in case I want to go back on and play. Our sheep are doing well, it's brilliant. But you get to a point you think, well, it's a save slot that if I'm realistically if I'm not going to go back on there, so then I delete the save. And as soon as you do that, you delete the save. What I'll often do is I'll uninstall the map, because you can always reinstall the map and have the save there. That's fine. Let's get our lights on. But it's interesting. As soon as you do that and you delete the save, that's it. When I drive off of here now, I'm not going to come back to this all the time, all the energy, all the setup, and it's often random how I go about setting stuff up. You just kind of, where does this fit? Does this fit in here? Can I put it there? What can I remove? What can I put in? And it becomes an organic process of how your farm grows, how the Let's Play develops, and I don't think any two maps, any two farms are the same. They never are. It just all kind of just happens, I didn't even notice. I'm going to have to roll back on that. I was too busy talking. We've just gone past the hour. 1,184,531. So our money did do a nice big jump up, which is great. So selling that, we were up there anyway, but it's a nice way to finish off. So what we are doing as we leave, we're going to whiz up to the popcorn factory. Let's have a see. Have we got any popcorn? That was what we were kind of aiming for, weren't we? We were trying to get popcorn. Corn dryer is chugging away. Our grain mill's working. Our productions are all producing things, sending them where they should be sending. The bakery's still chugging away. The pizzeria's still chugging away. Ketchup factory's still chugging away. we got any pizza over there? Oh, we got a pizza. I might take that with me, that's worth a few grand. Everything I touch turns to gold. Not everything I touch, that isn't true. If you watch my Let's Plays, videos and stuff, you know that's not true. Sometimes it's a grind and sometimes it can be horrific to watch, I know that. Oh look, we've got some products. I did the same thing here. I used Stuart's approach here. I know that the actual trigger point is at the door, which is just here, but it was the unload point because it was somewhere on this pad. So there you go, I just put a little bit of gravel and dirt down here, so I know when I was bringing stuff up here to unload, that was where I need to unload to. So here we are. I know I did a little popcorn tub in the corner when we bought the popcorn factory and we did our first delivery of dried corn, but at the moment we've got a fair bit of dried corn in here. We've still got butter in here. We're chugging away. That's how. I'm not gonna lie, the popcorn, love that. The popcorn, or the butter popcorn, I thought it'd be a fancier version of that. It's a plainer version of that. But anyway, we've got a couple of each. It's liftable. Oh, okay. So the butter in the butter popcorn's obviously a lot heavier. What are these though? These pallets are 700 and they're 1,000 litres. Okay. So you know what? You need car snacks. We need car snacks. Let's take a pallet of popcorn with us on our travels. You know what it's like? You get a bit peckish. It's like, we've got something we can snack on. We've got a bag of crisps, we've got some sweets. No, but we do have a pallet of popcorn. We are good to go. And that was my goal. That was the final part of the puzzle. We've got our popcorn. I was going to say we can drive off into the sunset. We can drive off into the thunderstorm. Happy. No, I'm going to wait for the train. I'm going to get the train. We're going to put the little ramp up. I'm going to put my pickup on the back and head off on the train. I think that's the plan. And that's it. That's it for Alma, Missouri. It feels weird again. I'm going to go and summon the train. Train summoner. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you've enjoyed the Let's Play the series. I know this and Court Farms really was dragged out for various different reasons, and you know there's all sorts of. Whoa! Did I catch it? I think I might have done. That was jolly good timing. As long as it doesn't just stop there. Yeah, it's taken a long time with big gaps in between. I apologise for that. If you were watching and hoping for daily episodes, it kind of starts off that way, and then you get map tours, mod reviews, life, you know, things come out, and you suddenly find yourself, a week goes by. My initial plan of it being this was going to be live streamed every episode and people would choose what I did. It just didn't pan out that way. It just didn't work, unfortunately, but it is what it is. So like I say, I hope you have enjoyed it, and if you have, please give us a like. If you don't subscribe yet, please do. If you want to leave a comment, feel free, and if you want to share this video, then please be my guest. Why is this not starting up? There we go. Whatever you choose to do, as always, I really do mean it. From the bottom of my heart, thanks for watching.